I feel so bad for people who are the victims of this mass layoff wave happening right now, because so many people have this thing called unemployment or layoff guilt, where that they feel like they're guilty for being fired, for being laid off, even though it's not their fault at all. For instance, in this video, you're going to see people experience this. You're going to hear stories of people breaking down in tears, or how even though they're told it's not their fault, they always think that, something they done really made the company laid them off, and somehow they feel really guilty about it, and they feel responsible, and they don't know how to face their parents and friends and family, and it's causing so much stress on people's lives. Keep watching this video for more.
Okay, so I just got laid off from my job an hour ago. Big life update, I guess. This is nuts. This is crazy. I don't even know what to think. I feel shocked. I feel embarrassed. I know I shouldn't feel embarrassed, but I do. I saw it coming, but I didn't see it coming, in the sense that, like, obviously, as the controller, I'm privy to all of our financials, because I'm the one creating our financial statements. Yeah, I'm like at a loss for words. I feel like you see so many people talking about they know someone or whatever getting laid off, and now I know someone, because that someone is me. Like, I'm me. I got laid off. That is me. I don't know. This is just nuts. At least I had a good weekend off. Welcome back to work. Hope you guys had a good holiday. Hey, Cynthia, you're getting laid off. I will say, on the bright side, at least my severance package is decent, and they are giving me my last day as of March 1st, so then I will have full benefits the month of March, but it's still shocking. Okay. Happy Tuesday, friends.
It just feels like I turned 25, but I'm about to be 26 in like 2 months. And I thought my life would be changed by the time I turned 25. Like, I'd see big differences by now. But I'm still broke, unemployed, college dropout. I still have no friends. I haven't had like the major change. I have a lot of like difficult setbacks and things. And some things have gotten better, like starting this series and hearing people say that my story is helping them. But as far as like my personal successes, like things haven't gotten better. Last year I only made like $5,000 the entire year, and so far I've made less than that this year, like way less. So I'm just hoping that even if things won't change by the time I'm 26, hopefully by 2026 things will change. I say that every single year, but hopefully things will be different.
Unemployment depression seriously just comes in waves. Some weeks I'm so disciplined, like gym, applying to jobs, routine, and then randomly it'll just hit a rejection instead of an offer. Somebody else gets a promotion, looking at my bank account, and then suddenly I'm like, oh yeah, this is kind of serious. But I've learned that the wave always passes. It's a moment, it's not my identity. Don't panic, just ride the wave, it's gonna pass.
I got a question. When are the jobs going to start hiring again? Because, it'd be a whole bunch of job postings, but I don't know when the last time I done heard somebody get a new job.
It's been a day and a half since my last Monday in the corporate world, aka I quit my job. We're already learning things. I'm already having some discoveries. So I want to share those things with you. Number one, the schedule. When you're working a job, you have kind of like a designated schedule, even if it's not super strict. You've got some flexibility. There's still kind of like hours of operations. So you really know what your day is going to look like. I used to think that if I didn't have a job anymore, the things I would do. Oh, the opportunities. I would wake up whenever I want, go to the gym at noon, and brunch with the girls all the time. By the way, I still want to get to that part. I'm not there yet. It's been a day and a half. We're not having brunch with the girls. We're not going to the gym at noon. In fact, I'm actually behind schedule right now. I need a routine. I need to get in a routine. Listen, if you are somebody who has no children, no husband, no dog. First of all, if you're one of those people and you haven't quit your 9 to 5 to pursue what you actually want to do, shame on you, because it's never going to be easier than it is right now. So if you are one of those people like myself, I've got no dog, but I've got the kids, I've got the fiance, I have other people and other things that I have to manage. So your schedule is still not your own. Like, there are certain expectations now that I am staying home. My fiance fully respects this is what I'm doing, and he supports me doing content creation. He also supports a tidy home. If I'm being completely honest, there's no way I'm gonna have that man coming home, picking up kids' underwear, wiping down countertops when, like, I didn't go to work today. So you can say what you want about that. But that's number one, is have to get organized. Thank God my mother got me an Apollo sign calendar. I haven't used it a whole ton. Why? Because I was already managing a work, Outlook calendar, and 15 calendars is just exhausting. Nobody should be doing that. It's not healthy. So I'm going to be fully utilizing that now. I like to dilly-dally. And if I don't have some, nothing's going to get done because I'm a dilly-dallyer. So that's the first thing.
I am getting laid off in 3 hours. Have you ever been a part of a corporate layoff? Because it is fun. So here's what happens if you haven't been a part of it. Basically, someone will let you know that a whole bunch of fucking people got laid off, like at the top. And you'll be like, what? And then you'll start texting around with all your friends. And then the HR invites start to go out. They're like 15-minute slots. And so then begins hours of texting everyone you know. Did you get the HR invite? Did you get an HR invite? Are you safe? Is your meeting 15 minutes or is it like 30 minutes to an hour? Because that usually is a longer discussion about a transition into a new role, right? But the 15-minute ones are pretty fucking clear. It's like, hi, thanks a lot, see you later. So I got my 15-minute invite for noon today. Obviously broke out crying. Was kind of planning on leaving anyway. I think we all were. The writing was all on the wall. But, bills. Money. I would love to sit around and do nothing, focus on self-care, all that kind of shit. But instead, it will be a scramble to find the next source of a paycheck, and that sucks. It's a shitty feeling. I do have this feeling like it's going to be okay. I do get that when I'm someone where it's harder for me with the potential of a threat. Then I panic. What if? But when shit actually hits the fan, my brain rallies. That's when it gets like, we're going to figure it out. It's going to be okay. It's meant to happen. You knew this was coming. Like, we'll figure it out. Like, there's always a way. It's a gift, you're thinking of every movie scene, like Sound of Music. Whenever God closes a door, somewhere he opens a window. That's a terrible, terrible accent. But the whole fixing up your resume thing, ChatGPT has made that a much less painful process, but fuck. And then you go through this like weird morning, how like everything you were working on that you were stressing out over the last couple of weeks was a big waste of time because somebody knew that you weren't going to have a job and that all these fucking Excels and PowerPoints and shit were for nothing. Oh, so I'm just not going to see any of my friends again. Oh, okay. Oh, I need to get my shit from the office. Then you're like, insurance. You and all your laid off friends call each other and we all just say, I'm so sorry. And then you're like, I'm sorry too. It's just scary. So I welcome any words of encouragement if you have any. Maybe like and follow. And I don't know what that'll do for me, but maybe it will help somehow.
I've just been laid off after working for 20 years at the same company and I have nothing. You definitely do not. How you doing? My name is Eric. If you're new here, I'm a career coach. I've been doing this for about 30 years and I'm here to support you. Now, this has been disgustingly popular these days. People getting laid off after putting a lot of time and energy into a single company. And they come to me and they're like, I have nothing. No, you have lots. The only thing you're missing right now is a title and a jerk of a company. and good riddance to that company. You have all the experiences that you've created, right? You have all the skills, you've developed competencies. There's lots of things that you have. So you don't have nothing. Now, some practical stuff. Reach out to people. Start reaching out to people immediately at this point. And don't identify back to that company. Identify and have them understand you as a human being, understand you as all of the experiences that, you bring. So start networking really, really quick. That's a typical thing that I see with people that have been at companies for a really long time. They're only networking internally. Pick up the phone, start calling friends, family, people that, you may have bumped into along the way within your community, but start doing that right away and let them know all of your experiences, not that stupid little title that you're going to get plenty new ones of, or that little company that doesn't matter at all anymore. All right? You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for always stopping by. Thank you always for the comments. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Love you.
So I see so many posts about how horrible the job market is and how long the hiring processes are taking. And I wanted to kind of demystify it and let you know a few insights into why hiring processes take so long, not to defend it, but just to let you know what's really going on behind the scenes. The first reason that I see these hiring processes take so long is because the hiring manager who's responsible for reviewing the applications are sitting on them. Okay. So oftentimes as a recruiter, I'm sending, I've reviewed all the applications that's come in. I'm sending like a shortlisted 15, 20 candidates to the hiring manager to say, hey, I think these are some of the best that have come in so far. Take a look. Let me know who you want me to phone screen. And sometimes I can sit on their desk for a few days or a week or sometimes longer. And no matter how many times we ping them to remind them hey, we just can't force that process to go faster. So that often comes up. The second reason why hiring processes take so long is usually because when a company wants to have so many interviewers involved, and particularly when we're trying to do panel interviews where there's multiple interviewers in a process, trying to match everyone's schedule to certain times and dates for these interviews is a nightmare, and it can take and delay the process weeks. And it's always frustrating to me where we aren't thinking about that from the beginning, where we know we're going to be posting this job at this time. We know that we will be accepting applications for about 4 weeks, and we'll begin interviews at this time, that we should be holding blocks on people's calendars. But for some reason, it doesn't always work out that way. The third reason why they take so long is usually, a lot of times, an internal employee or a key external candidate that the organization is really excited about will come in the process late. And so we've already had some interviews, and then this person pops up and says, oh, I'm really interested. And a lot of times the hiring manager will pause the process to bring this person up along the way. So it can be extremely frustrating. And the worst part about all of this is that when we are working with the hiring manager, it is very often they will tell us to keep the candidates warm, right? So we don't, unless you're extremely unqualified, we probably aren't going to be able to disposition you or reject your candidacy until the hiring manager has a final say, which can take a very long time. So a lot of these things are super frustrating, not only for you all, of course, but also for the people who are working with hiring managers in the recruiting process. And so just wanted to give you some insights into why that happens, and not to say that it's okay, it's really bad, but just so that you know what's going on.
So I am unemployed. It's been a week. It's honestly been a really good week. I can't tell you the story yet of how this happened, but I will eventually. The one thing I know for certain is I will never, ever work in a corporate office environment ever again. I don't care. I refuse. I'm so disgusted. Also, I don't know if you know this, while I was working my corporate marketing job, I got my master's degree in mental health counseling. So I've been wanting to pivot into that anyway, eventually, to use my master's, and now is the time. So that's my next move. Nothing is, set, but I am really excited about that because I actually care about that and it actually matters.
Oh yeah, we're not hiring. I mean, you can still apply online, but they're not going to check it for like 2 years until they're hiring again. But you can still apply online. We're just not hiring right now. Thank you for calling the place that you want to work at to check on your job application. We're currently experiencing high call volumes and hope that you will understand this and call back later. Yeah, so we're actually not allowed to hire you anymore, so your call was basically useless because we have someone who scouts out people that put in applications, and he should email you eventually, eventually. But we can't hire you right now. Oh yeah, we're hiring, but we pay like $8 an hour. You still want it? You still want it? Oh yeah, we're hiring, but like you get like $15 an hour, but we're gonna give you 1 day every 2 weeks. Is that okay? It is gonna be only like a 4-hour shift. Is that okay though? Is that okay? Yeah, so I know it said that online we were hiring and then you spent like 30 minutes of your day putting in an application, but we're actually completely full of every single position. Yeah, you don't want to work here. Just trust me, you don't want to work here. We're hiring, but you don't want to work here. Yeah, we can hire you. I mean, you're only gonna get like 3 hours a week and we pay like $4.97 an hour. Is that okay? So I see you went out of your way to come all the way to the store and come in with resume in hand to see if we're hiring, but you just wasted your time and you're actually just gonna have to go home and apply online, and we might get to the application, which is a big maybe. So I know that you checked all the boxes for requirements on this position and you're like the perfect applicant, but we're gonna move on to different candidates because you can't work on Sunday mornings. Yeah. You actually came into the store after applying online to check on your application. That is so awesome. I'm actually going to send your information directly to one of our hiring managers, and she's never going to answer you. Yeah, like never. But like, we can still try, So even though it says online that the specific location that you wanted to work at, because it's on the way between your house and school, is hiring for that position, we're actually not. But another store, like not even that far away, I know it's like 15 minutes out of the way from in between your home and school, and like it's so much wasted gas, but like they're definitely hiring for the position. It doesn't say it online, but they're hiring, trust me. You can go over there, like just go inside, and they'll just tell you, you'll get the job. Right, so we hear you. You have morning classes, you have to get home, get to bed early so that way you can be well rested and learn in the morning. But you can only have this job if you can work until 3 in the morning. Yeah, that's like all that we have available right now, and we really need this position, so that's all you got. Take it or leave it. Oh, you have open availability on every single Saturday, but you just can't work Sunday mornings, but the rest of the day you can? Sorry about that. We really need Sunday mornings. Sorry, you can't get the job. Hey, yeah, so it's Indeed here. We found you a job. Yeah, you're gonna love this one. So it's actually at like a dental office, and we picked it because you have experience in customer service. Yeah, like a front desk person. I mean, you've never had like a desk job or anything like that. It's always been, manual labor and all that other type of customer service. But you'll totally get this one. Like, I mean, the customer service, they're gonna love you. They're gonna love you.
My friend just got laid off and she texted me and asked if I had any job hunting tips, and boy do I ever. So here are my top tips for surviving a layoff and landing your next job. Tip number 1, the first week after you get laid off, don't do shit, okay? Think of it as like a week-long vacation. Don't open LinkedIn, don't update your resume, don't look for jobs. You need time to process what just happened because it was fucked up and you're pissed and you're scared and you don't know what you're gonna do. Just take the time to process it before you dive into this hellhole of an experience, which is job hunting. The second thing is create different versions of your resume. So figure out what areas of jobs that you want to apply to. I had about 3 different job types I was applying to, so I had 3 different resumes. One was for chief of staff, one was for a program manager, one was for an operations role. They will require different keywords, different work examples, and it'll just be easier for you to start actually applying to roles once those resumes are created. Tip 3, after you've scoured LinkedIn for roles that you want to apply to, before you apply to any, start a fucking spreadsheet to track that shit. You're gonna add the company name, the date you applied, a link to the job posting, what resume did you use to apply. It's so hard to go back and try and find a job posting after 4 weeks of not hearing anything. So you're gonna want a tracker. Tip 4, stalk people on LinkedIn. I'm serious. I stalk the shit out of people on LinkedIn. I reach out to people that I hadn't talked to in years so that they could connect me to a third connection of theirs. And you know what? It worked. And I got internal referrals, and those things are lifesavers. So I know we hate LinkedIn. Honestly, fuck LinkedIn, but it is a necessary evil. Tip 5, when you land an interview, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna choose 3 stories from your career, and those 3 stories you should be able to apply to any interview question. For example, I led my company's annual business planning process. I can use that story if an interviewer asks me, tell me about a time you've worked with cross-functional teams. Tell me about a time you disagreed with leadership. Tell me about a time you led a strategic initiative. And figure out your top stories that you're gonna tell no matter what interview question you get asked. So you've applied to 237 jobs, you haven't heard back from any, and now you're just waiting. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go outside. Get your ass outside and go on a walk. After you get outside, you're gonna sit on your couch and let yourself rot a little bit, okay? It's fine. You can watch TV, you don't have anything else to do. Can't spend money. Try not to feel guilty about that. And you're also gonna go do fun shit. You're in a position now where you can meet your friends at their work for lunch. I mean, that sounds fun, right? When was the last time you could do that? Go to a museum at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. Pick up your niece and nephew from school. You're gonna find things that are fun, keep you connected to your family and friends, and keep you busy. The last thing you're gonna wanna do is just drink a lot of alcohol. I hope that helps. Okay, bye.
So I'm 25, I have no job, I have no boyfriend, I don't have my own apartment. I'm literally just moved back in with my parents just now. And everything's sad and horrible, right? But then also,
I've been laid off twice in the past year, as if once wasn't enough. A second time, absolutely. And one of the first things that I feel like the heaviest things that you deal with unemployment is the guilt, because even when it's out of your control and you can't necessarily decide who hires you and who doesn't. In my case, I can't even decide who decides to look at my resume in the first place. That's not even my problem. It's not like I'm hiring or interviewing for these jobs and not getting them, because then I would know, okay, it's me. I need to fix how I'm presenting myself. I can't even get the interviews. And that's a part that I'm confident about. That's the part that I'm if I get this, I get it in the bag. And it's crazy how the guilt is just there all day, every day. If I'm applying to jobs, I feel guilty that I don't get any responses back. If I don't apply to jobs, I feel guilty that I didn't apply to jobs. If I am applying during the week and nothing comes of it during the week, at the end of the week, I feel terrible about myself. But then also, I know it has to do with just this societal guilt that's been ingrained in our brains, because on the weekends or during vacations, I don't feel this guilt, because it's okay if I don't have a job on the weekends because everybody else doesn't have a job on the weekends. It's crazy. The guilt is crazy. It's the hardest part, because yes, obviously there's financial stress that comes with it, but it's the fact that nothing feels like enough. Even when I'm working on my own projects and things that really fulfill me, there's this little eating away in the back of my brain that's this is stupid. People won't respect you for this. You need to have the 9 to 5. Even if it's paying you nothing and treating you like garbage, it's better to have that than nothing. Crazy. I don't think we talk about it enough.
All right, we've got the job list, the unemployment claims for last week. It is a huge jump. Another 231,000 people filed for unemployment last week. If you think about that and you times that by 4, that is an average of over 800,000 people filing for unemployment every month. Just in January 2026, we lost over 600,000 jobs. That is the highest number since the Great Recession in 2009. The weekly average was 212,000. I want to remind everyone that Biden had 48 months of straight job growth. Not only is unemployment skyrocketing, companies are not hiring. In addition, we lost 1.2 million jobs. We are in the negative for job creations. 550,000 jobs was the only amount of jobs created in 2025. Under Biden, 2.1 million were created in 2024. 1 out of 4 people has been unemployed for 27 weeks or longer. That is a 25% long-term unemployment rate. You can see why this is disturbing. If people don't have jobs, they don't spend money, we go into a recession or a depression. please do the best that you can to get your finances in order.
As you probably know, we are in the toughest job market since 2009, and it seems like there's a layoff each and every day. And I can relate because I too was laid off last week from Salesforce after 11 years at the company. What makes this incredibly layered is that I'm also a career coach. So I've been helping my own clients navigate situations just like this. And now I'm living it myself. I'll be honest, I'm navigating a lot of different emotions right now. Disappointment, grief, anger, because I grew my career over a decade there, was in 7 different roles in that time, and my most recent role was in employee engagement and career development, like work that really matters, that was directly impacting our employees. When I got that dreaded invite on my calendar last week, I knew what was coming, and I was really upset to know that it was that work specifically that was getting impacted. Here's what I'm learning in real time. You can be amazing at your job. You can be providing a ton of value. You can be aligning your work to business metrics. You can be elevating it so everyone that needs to know knows about the impact of your work. But at the same time, you can still have the script change without your consent. So right now, I'm in the messy middle, figuring it out, deciding what my next path looks like, but I'm approaching it with a lot of reflection and intention. A lot of people, when they're navigating a layoff, go first to action and wanting to just apply, look for new jobs right away. But I'm doing the same thing that I would recommend to my coaching clients. I'm giving myself the space and grace to take a step back, to reflect, to breathe, to be. So that way, whatever is next for me, whether it is finding another corporate job, whether it's growing my business in coaching and speaking, or a mix of both like it has been the last 5 to 6 years, I will have that clarity and confidence in the choices that I choose. So if you're navigating something similar, I see you, I am you. I know how hard it can be, but hang in there. You're not alone. Take a deep breath. You got this.
It kind of gives people a hopeless feeling where nobody is concerned about how tough the job market is and how bad the economy is right now. You have a twofold problem where you have companies and big corporations laying off white-collar good work by the tens of thousands. On the other side of the equation, you have the same companies and even more companies not hiring anyone because they think the economic uncertainties or maybe the AI development will make it so that they don't need any more employees. So in turn, you have this phenomena where you have a bunch of people graduating from college going into the workforce and they can't even find a job despite working hard, despite having good degrees and experience with internships, because they're just simply not companies in those certain fields like in tech doing any hiring right now. So many people just causing so many supply and workers right now in the job market. That's why when people apply to jobs online, they don't even get a response, and it makes them feel really bad because they think it's their fault that they're not qualified enough. But that's not the case at all, because the same people would have gotten like 10 job offers just 5 years ago. It is the macroeconomic environment. It is the trend that we're in some of the toughest economies and job markets right now. And that's to no fault of the job applicants themselves. And a lot of these job applicants are highly qualified and they try to network, they try to apply to thousands of jobs, and still they cannot find a single job. It's so concerning. And then you also have people who are currently employed and they're stressed out about getting fired because they think it's going to happen, or that they've already gotten laid off by certain companies and they feel really bad and they, cry, and because, rightfully so, they've worked hard for these companies, dedicated their time and energy and life into working for these companies, just to be discarded when the companies think they can save that money, save costs by using, say, AI to replace these workers. So the workers get laid off and they feel really bad. They feel really guilty. They feel like they could have done something. They could have done more, which is natural. It's a natural feeling for someone to feel that way, that they could have done something. But in actuality, the reality is there's nothing they could have done because this is just a bigger economic trend that they literally have no control over. And that is really the key of the problem we have right now is these macroeconomic trends are really hammering the average worker. And this trend is likely to continue into the future where more and more white-collar workers will be laid off and they'll be pushed into trying to find another job in the market only to see that there are no available jobs out there. It's really, really concerning.